Zazie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really excited to be interviewing you. I saw the show and it is incredible, and your character is like a boss. So I love
Oh,
her.
thank
Um,
you.
so the first thing is I know that you worked with Steven in High Flying Bird. So
Mhm.
how was it different working with him here than in that movie?
Hmm. Honestly, which I really like, it wasn't different. High Flying Bird had a much smaller budget, smaller crew. We shot that, I think, in like 3 weeks or something like that, which is very fast for a feature. Uh, and it felt a little bit kind of like the student film vibe, which was fun because, everybody wants to be there and everybody is, I think also Stephen wearing multiple hats always as the editor and director and shooting his projects. It feels that way too. And I was wondering going into this, I was like, I wonder if this is going to feel different at all, but it doesn't. Of course, there was more crew and more kind of infrastructure support, I guess, bigger budget, but it still felt very like down and dirty, and you're shooting in the streets of New York with regular people walking by, and Steven is shooting and directing and coming back the next day being like, yeah, I edited this scene, da da da, and this worked and this didn't work, or and it still made it feel like, oh yeah, kind of, I don't know, still student filmy in a way that I really like, because it just feels grounded and passionate.
So you also acted in Atlanta, and every year Steven gets out a list of TV shows and movies he's watched. So, and Atlanta was actually one of them. So, has he ever talked to you about it? Do you think him watching that kind of influenced him to put you in this role as Mel?
I don't know. I haven't actually really asked him that. I want to say us working together on High Flying Bird let him feel like we had a relationship to build upon and to do this kind of, I guess, this bigger role for me, and a more prominent role and opportunity to work together. But I mean, I guess maybe he cast me from Atlanta. Sorry, maybe he cast me in High Flying Bird because of Atlanta, but I don't actually know. I probably, I mean, I guess, why else would he cast me? I don't
I
know.
mean,
Maybe something else. I don't
the
know.
world will never know, I
Yeah,
guess.
exactly. I'll have to ask him one day.
So why did you decide? Well, did you audition for this role or did he just cast you?
He cast me, so it was an offer, which was really lovely. I got to read the scripts and we talked, and then in the conversation, he was like, "Well, it's yours to lose." So that was nice. And yeah, but I think that also was possible because we had worked together before, and it's a nice way to, um, yeah, if you trust someone already with their instincts and intuition on a character, or for me, for his directing and his artistic abilities, it's much more fun to like take risks and to be honest and to really go for it creatively, because you're like, oh, I know you believe, so I'm just gonna go for it. So yeah, I don't even remember what the question was.
It was if you auditioned for it or he
Oh,
just
I didn't know.
So why did you decide to play like accept the offer to play Mel in the show?
Well, working with Soderbergh was a big thing. I wanted to do it again. I really enjoyed it the first time. And I also thought the character, I thought, was different for me. I don't think I've really played anyone like her. Mm, she is a little bit of this sort of anti-hero in terms of yeah, I think you're rooting for what she's trying to do. I think you root for her. I don't think she's like a bad, um mm, uh, yeah, I think she's trying to do the right thing in her life, but I think sometimes has a complicated way of going about it. And she, you know, her personal life is kind of struggling, and her job is struggling, and she's trying to hold on to her job, and she's passionate about her job, and wanting validation and wanting people to tell her she's doing well, but she also believes in herself. And I think that makes her be kind of, I don't know, she has a bit of a guard up. And I also thought she was really funny. And yeah, I just thought she was kind of endlessly dynamic. And so I found her interesting, and an energy I hadn't played before, this kind of very active, I think very vibrant, bright, but also a little bit emotionally kind of unreliable energy, which I thought was interesting. And her also kind of having a little bit of a difficult time with people, I think. Yeah, it was different for me. So I was interested in the character too.
Did you study any other actors or characters to be ready to play Mel?
To be honest, nothing specific. Like, I honestly, I kind of was just studying people that I knew in my life who I think have elements of Mel's personality. And due to the background that I know about these people, and why they react emotionally to certain things the way they do, was very informative to me on how I wanted to handle Mel, and where some of her motivation comes from. So I want to say mine came more from like lived experience, and yeah, managing and empathizing with people who I think have had sort of a similar kind of vibe as Mel.
And can you relate to Mel in any way? Any characteristics that you can think you guys have in common? Anything like that?
Yeah, it's funny. A reason why I was interested in playing her is because I think she's also quite different from me. I think, yeah, she's very different. But like all of us, I think she has inherent kind of insecurities. Certainly, I have them, and I appreciate, what I like about her is that she also chooses to fight for herself, and I think she does believe in herself. And I have also had times in my life where I felt like, oh, I deserve this, and I want this for myself, and I'm going to go get it. And it's very, very empowering. It's like such a cool feeling to genuinely feel like you're like, I'm in the place where I can fight for this, and I'm going to put my all in. And so I kind of like recognize that within her too. But I also think we're profoundly different people. So yeah.
So, what are some things you've seen Steven do that other directors don't do? Like, what do you think is innovative about his style of filming?
I think he's so good at really like using the camera as a voyeur. Like he really lets actors play, sets up sort of a sandbox, and he's like, go. And then he just follows you. And obviously there's, to a degree, there's blocking and sort of, but there's honestly a lot of freedom. And he really, and even from take to take, like you can really adjust how you approached a scene, and he really lets you kind of take over, and he's just capturing and watching whatever magic or energy is happening in front of him. And I think he does that particularly well. And even in how his camera flows, it's often so organic and following characters into rooms and then into other, like he lets the actors and the character lead the eye. And I feel like it makes it feel very sort of integrated and, I don't know, natural and organic, and the camera is always moving very naturally. And so yeah, I would say that is, I think, specific to him as a director.
And what's your favorite Soderbergh movie?
Ooh. Somebody was asking me this earlier. I have a few. One that I really like is, gosh, it's the one with Meryl Streep. I think it's Let Them All Talk. Is that the one? That one? Yeah. I really like that one. I think that's a great, I don't know, reflection on aging and work and value. And, you know, I'm not in that place in my career, but I'm sure I'll, I don't know, have those reflections one day. Yeah, I liked that film.
Well, thank you so much, Zazie. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Again, congratulations on how you played Mel. You portrayed her really well, so congratulations on
Yeah.
that. Hi, Tim. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. My mom's a huge fan of you, and I am too. So this is super full circle. No
Well,
pun intended for me.
I appreciate you both. You tell her. Hello.
So you have a knack for playing tough guys in the shows, movies that you do. Would you consider your character on Full Circle a tough guy?
No, I never thought of him that way. I mean, I guess to some degree, no, I didn't. No, that was never what crossed my mind playing this. Like, oh, he's a tough guy. What I thought to myself is, oh, this is a guy with a terrible secret, and he's just trying to keep it all together.
So before playing him, did you study any other actors or characters in movies and shows to help the portrayal of your character?
No, I didn't. Perhaps I should have, now that you mention it. No, I love the script, and I just sometimes when you read the script, you just kind of have a sometimes it's best just to go with your gut. Because when the script's really good, it kind of does a lot of the work for you. And then I've seen Steven's work, pretty much all of it. I figured if he was happy, I'd be happy. So we just kind of kept it pretty simple on this one.
Yeah, definitely. And why did you decide to play this role? What kind of like made you want to be this character who has this deep dark secret?
Okay, so again, truthfully, when I got a call that Steven Soderbergh wanted to meet with me, that's a dream come true situation. If he said, I have a job I want you to do, I was going to do it. I don't know what it would take for me to go, I'm sorry, but no, this one's not for me. It's very hard for me to imagine a situation like that. The fact that the scripts were so great, I mean, it wasn't really surprising. All his material that he works on is great, but Ed wrote this great material. Then you just ask yourself, well, does it fit? Is this you don't want to jam, a square peg through a round hole just to work with Soderbergh, but I felt like like I had a gut instinct about it. And then, like I said, you just kind of just do what I always do. I learn my lines and go with my gut.
Yeah, and can you relate to this character in any way?
Well, I don't have problems like this guy's problems. I mean, I I know what it's like to make a mistake. I know what it's like to have a secret. Everybody's got secrets. I don't have the problems that he's got at the level he's got. But I think I know what it's like to experience that kind of stress and that kind of where you feel overwhelmed. And I know what it's like to feel like what it would be like to hurt the people you really love is really quite a painful idea. So in that regard, you know, it's a very human experience. Is his specific problem is unlike most people's, but how he feels about the people around him and how he feels about the mistake he made, those are very, feels like those are universally very human experience, you know, we've all kind of been through that a little bit.
So you already told us about how working with Steven is a dream. Can you tell us kind of how it was working with him, how it worked in the set?
Well, he works so quick. He operates his you know, he directs and he operates as well. So he's very much a part of the scene. That's pretty unusual. A lot of times, most jobs, directors are sitting behind a monitor, sometimes in another room somewhere. He's right there, and he works so fast. And he's so sort of efficient. And as much as I felt like it was a true collaboration, the way it would be with any director, we hardly spoke about the work. You know, he did his job, I did my job. It was a very empowering kind of feeling that you were just going to show up and do your thing. And if he liked what you did, we'd move on. And if you didn't like it, we'd do it again. It was so simple. And in its simplicity, unlike anything I've ever worked on.
Do you have any favorite Soderbergh movies that made you want to work with him?
Oh, I mean, so many. I mean, from Sex Lies to Aaron Brockovich to Out of Sight. And, you know, I mean, I like the projects that he's done that are almost like if he was a visual painter, they would almost be like the pencil drawings or the notebook pages, you know, like High Flying Bird, like shot on a phone. I loved it, you know. I'm hardly ever not fascinated by anything he does.
And can you tell us how the vibe was on set?
It's just a great set. I mean, everybody pros through and through. And the feeling he creates on a set, it's just there's just no drama, you know. There's just usually may not come as a big surprise to you, but usually there's a lot of drama on these in show business. There's not a lot of drama. The only drama is when the camera's rolling, when they say action, and Claire Danes just goes into the scene. That's where all the drama is. You know, it's a really cool set, and we tend to go home early. It's a good one.
Who was your favorite to work with of the actors?
Well, I worked a ton with Claire. She was a joy to work with. Just a tremendous amount of respect and admiration for her work and how she goes about it. I also got to work with Dennis Quaid, and he just makes me smile. I just like being around him. You know, that was a bit of a treat. Didn't see that one coming. And everybody was great. I wish I had more scenes with you know, such a huge cast, but you know, we all kind of came to it from these sort of, it was all very compartmentalized, so didn't get to collaborate as much with the rest of them. But I've seen the finished product, and the performances are amazing across the board.
They were fascinating. They were incredible. What would you say is the tone of the film?
It's pretty thrilling. I think they're calling it a thriller. I find it riveting. It's funnier than I thought it was going to be. And I'm usually pretty good at knowing like where the jokes are. But a lot of the jokes come out of the sort of you know, just these very relatable moments. someone telling me to lift the bag of money with my legs, not my back. It's just these moments that get laughs that when you're doing them, you don't think of them as laughs, because you're just dealing, me running around with trying to find a charger. When we screened it at the Tribeca Film Festival, it got big laughs. But when I was shooting it, it was so dramatic. It's really a testament to Ed's writing.
Well, thank you so much, Timothy. Again, like I said, me and my mom are huge fans, so this is super, super exciting for me. And I want to congratulate you because you did a really, really good job portraying your character.
Both of those things mean a lot, and I appreciate it. Thank you.